I was born in 1933 in Florence, South Carolina. We did not have the things that the children have today. We would make our own toys. We would take tin cans and bore a hole in each can and run a rope or a wire through that can, and we would walk on those cans, and they were called tom-toms. Then we used any kind of paper product that we could get, a cup or anything like that, and make a telephone out of it. We made our own toys. For Christmas, we got maybe a couple of toys, but mostly clothes and fruit would be our Christmas. But they were happy Christmases. I was the youngest, and I had two older brothers. One 4 years older and one 2 years older. And it was quite a childhood of being raised with two boys. But I would pretty well say I could take care of myself. But I loved my two brothers, and I know my two brothers loved me. And we had a wonderful, wonderful childhood. I was an activity director at a nursing home in Darlington for 22 years. Out of the 22 years, I was never late a day going to work unless I called and told my administrator. I had 88 patients. I made a round in the nursing home every morning and made contact with 88 patients a day to tell them that they were loved, because so many were there that had no family and may not have been told that they were loved. And I made that round 5 days a week to let those residents know that they were loved. I had a lot of patients that stuck out with me. In fact, I had one little lady that was very bossy, and she would make another resident get up and move out of her chair if they sat down in her chair. And one day, I said to her, "Miss Jack, that is not your chair, and you do not have your name on it anywhere. And if I see you hit another patient because they're in your chair, I'm going to get you." And she said, "You shut up." And I said, "Yes, ma'am." I first saw Bug when I was attending Swift Creek School. I was at the teacherage upstairs with my friend skating. There was a large hall, and I was skating when we noticed Bug and Bill Bryant stopped over in the churchyard. That was the first time I saw Bug. When I really met Bug, my parents ran a grocery store in the country, and Bug came to the grocery store. Oh, I thought he was the most handsome thing I had ever seen. Very good looking. I fell in love with him the first time I saw him. And at the time, I guess I should say this, I was dating someone else. And when he came into the grocery store, we lived in a home that was built onto the grocery store. And I had a picture of the guy that I was dating. And he asked me who he was, and I told him that was the guy that I was going to marry. And he said, "That's what you think." Bug at times would share things that he went through being a prisoner of war, of how they starved them, how they marched them for so many miles, and they were told if they fall out during the march that they would be shot. When he was captured, a doctor was also captured along with them. And when they were fed their first bowl of soup, it contained lots of worms. The doctor told them if they could eat the worms, they would be getting the protein that they needed. And Bug said he learned that when a worm crawled out, you put that worm back in that bowl of soup and you ate that worm in order to survive. I think from being a prisoner that he saw how blessed he was to be able to return home. And as he always said, I was his Rock of Gibraltar. I think he knew that God had given him a second chance of life, which he took advantage of every day in raising his family, loving his family as he did. He was truly a good father, a good husband, a good neighbor. He was just good to everyone. Just a very, very unusual person. Not only did he love his children, he loved his nieces, his nephews, all children. He loved all children. I do have a favorite photo. It's of my husband on a tractor coming to the store to see me. And I guess you could say I had to marry him because he was there all the time. That's my favorite. Nothing really other than to say I have been blessed to be 84 years old, and I have had a very, very happy life. Blessed with a good family, a loving family, and I've just been blessed.